This movie really tells you to just relax about the whole thing, which sometimes we need to be told. And in that sense, I think it's relatable by everybody because you overextend. I mean, the better mother you're trying to be, the more trouble you get into in a way because you're setting impossible goals for yourself and standards for yourself. And, you know, forget about even having a relationship while you have kids. That's even more impossible. So I think it pokes fun at what women do to themselves about losing their sense of playfulness about their kids and suggests that you have to just think about what's really important and forgive yourself for not being like having everything perfect all the time. Catherine Hahn actually wrote me a letter, not an email, but a letter, and just said this would, you know, for me, you're the perfect one. I can't think of anybody, blah, blah, blah. Everything that would just seduce you into saying, of course, because she's so great. You know, I just loved her and transparent. I've loved her and everything to be. I find it so interesting, people like Melissa McCarthy, too, who are so funny and physically so funny, and then are so accessible emotionally. And she can do that, Catherine. So I immediately perked up, and you know, everybody involved in the film was A-list, professional, really funny, perfect. And so when I got the script, I was like, well, I mean, what's the worst that could happen is I'm not funny, I guess, but at least it'll be fun to be there. She's somebody who has never mothered herself. She says she raised herself by her wits and her tits. She's incredibly optimistic and cheerful, considering that she's had a life that people would see as pretty tragic. And the only problem is she relates to her daughter more like a sister or a fun pal. She doesn't really know what mothering's about because she's never been mothered, and so she's you know, took off with the band when she was young, and God knows what else she did, and she self-medicates, but she doesn't seem somehow, I hope, to be tragic. And I think that she's not intimidated by the other mothers, and she, you know, at one point is accused of being uneducated, and I think, you know, that might be true, but in terms of the education that the world has provided, she's seen a lot and done a lot, and so she can hold her own. A lot of the mistakes that we make as mothers are done out of love, out of wanting to keep your kids safe, out of in reaction to your mother, your own mother, and this is how you pass down things maybe you don't want to pass down, and how you pass down admirable traits also. And I think the film deals with the complicated relationship in a really humorous way. Working with Christine and Cheryl, I sometimes would forget to even be in the scene and would just be watching them. You know, they were so funny and just such perfect casting also, and the physicality of what they did. I really had a great time. It's not that you want to just work with women, but you don't get the opportunity. I've been in the business for 50 years, believe it or not, and you know, the experiences I've had where there were more than one or two women in a cast have been very limited. And so it's pretty special when you just have that kind of sweetener to whatever the project is, to just see what that's like. It's just a different dynamic. Not better or worse necessarily, but something that is fun to be able to wear, especially women that can really take care of themselves and surprise you and make you even better. I really enjoyed myself on the film, and I have to say, can't say it enough, how generous the original moms were in welcoming the new grandmas. It's never easy to come into a situation that has been going for a while, and it sometimes takes a little bit to settle in, and we were working really fast, so we didn't have that much time. And it was very quickly like we'd all been there for a while. And I think it shows, I hope it shows that we're in a kind of love bubble, and as much out of a generosity as of respect.
Hey, so I hope you liked the video. Now stay with me as I have an interesting behind-the-scenes movie fact from Anchorman. Now, in the famous scene where Paul Rudd speaks to Will Ferrell about Sex Panther cologne, remember?
Wow. Never ceases to amaze me. What cologne are you gonna go with? London Gentleman or... Wait. No. Hold on. Blackbeard's Delight.
No. She gets a special cologne. It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in...
Well, Paul Rudd was determined to make Will Ferrell laugh and break character, since it was always the other way around. He thought that this would be accomplished with the 60% of the time it works, every time line that he improvised. But Will fired back with doesn't even make sense without skipping a beat, once again making Paul and others break character yet again. I actually think it would be hard to keep a straight face when working with Will Ferrell. What about you? Now, if you haven't already done it, subscribe and click the notification bell to receive the latest trailers and other cool videos the moment they are online. See you next time.